welcome back to my channel. I want to thank everybody for coming back with me. I want to appreciate you guys, my subscribers, my viewers, and those who have liked and shared my video. Thank you. And I want to also appreciate those who will be subscribers. Please come and support your girl. Support this woman. As you guys know, for those who have been following up, we are on the third series of my testimony, So as you all guys know, we are continuing. Without much ado, I just go straight into the point. As my cousin was looking for his change for 10,000, my sister was there, brakajabaga. My mom collapsed and I was lying tight in the sheet in front of the mortuary, ready to take my own position, to be tied, to be marked, and as a special baggage to Bamenda. But as for our God, my God, your God, said it was not yet time. He said, my daughter, you have a lot ahead of you. You still have a lot of work to do. What I sent you on this earth to do, you haven't started. So you are going nowhere. But little did I know that I was destined for a great job. I was destined to do this for God, But I want to thank God also because He used me as a testimony. Not everybody has this opportunity, So before I just leave the bomb to explode, I want to tell you guys what happened when I was lying in the ICU. I remembered some of those things. Some things people will hear it and maybe you will not believe, maybe you will believe, but I just want to tell you that there are supernatural powers, but the power of God is more than all those powers. While I was lying there, I remembered that I was in another scene. I was somewhere. The people I could remember, I tried to explain them to my family, and they confirmed to me the various people, but most of them were dead. I saw my grandmother. I never had the opportunity to see him physically, but I explained everything about this old woman I saw. I saw my grandfather. I saw them. I saw one of my uncles. I explained the kind of lenses they were putting on, the colors. I explained the dresses I saw them wearing. I saw a lot of things, and while I was in this coma, there was something that was happening in me, and the doctors were very confused. You can go back to Yaoundé if you want to know details about me, about this illness, about everything. Some doctors, some medical doctors had called me after I was well and interviewed me and took down things. I'm going to even put it maybe in the future as a book so people can be encouraged. Sometimes the doctors will come through these kind of things again and they will know that it happened, it has been happening, and there will be no shaking. That's why everybody, in everything that you do, you need to put God first so that you will know how to handle some cases. So while I was there, I was lying in a coma, but I was shedding tears. I could not talk, I could not eat, I could not do anything, just lying there. You know how the ICU is. But the only thing that was happening in my system was that tears were running down. They will run for some time and then they will stop. They will run for some, because everything was documented. I have a summary of it. The hospital has also the summary of it. So while oh my God, I'm getting emotional, but I will push through because the devil has been holding this marvelous testimony to come out to the world. So while our tears were running down, I remember I will always get beatings. I will be whipped, not like lightly, really got beaten, and I had scars, physical scars. I'm not talking about like imaginary scars, physical scars on my body, like this African beating that you will whip somebody on the back and now we say it's abuse. This kind of beating abuse, I had it on my body. So the doctors were always like, what is happening? Why is she having this? You see, this kind of scars that will lay you and then you will have marks on your body, and then they were treating some of those marks like wounds or something. and then it will stop, and then the next day you will get another really bit. And during this period, when after I cry, after I shed those tears, and then they will start to see, the nurse that will be in charge will start to see this, the scars on my body, just like that. But with the physical eyes, they never saw anybody beating me, because nobody can enter the ICU. They used to watch me through a glass. Who can go inside there and start doing that, except the person is not in the right senses, you know. So it was happening while they are doing their thing. But there was one professor, I think he's of late, may so rest in peace, Professor Namango. He was always constantly coming around my bed and doing things, because after that he also had interview with me, lecturing his students. He told me everything, because my family permitted him to do that. So they were always, he said he was, when he comes around my bed, he was, the time that they say tears are running, he wanted that I let him be there. So he told me how he saw tears running down my cheeks, that my body was lifeless, you know, my body was almost lifeless, like in the coma, almost. But they could not understand, they could not scientifically explain it. But I knew that I was somewhere, but I never knew I was even in the hospital. I just knew as these people in my family that are of late me, they're so rest in peace, they were making a barrier for me, and they would beat me, but I was struggling to break that barrier. I wanted to pass, to go across the barrier. So I remember one of my uncles, late uncle, he would whip me until I would be crying, and I'm sure when I'm crying, that's when they see those tears, you know. I remember several of them beating me up with their walking sticks and all those kind of stuff. And then it just happened like that until that day that maybe I finally came across, break the barrier, and then the doctors, then everything was on null, on 000, no vital signs, nothing to show life in me again. And then it was concluded. So while I was now, my cousin, now was bringing back his change, but just some few meters away from the mortuary he was coming, and my sister was already tired of maybe praying. She was just standing there and waiting, and then the stretcher started shaking, like, you know. I was tired, then I was like shaking. While I was shaking, people ran away, you know, this kind of stuff. Even the man, you know, resurrection. So normally, if you are not my family, or if you are not a lion-hearted, you will not stand it, you know. Someone that has been concluded by doctors standing in front of the mortuary, you just know, oh, a ghost or something is coming out, and then that's what happened. So my elder sister was so courageous. I thank you that you were so courageous. You stood by me. Even till now I'm talking, she's still always standing by me, you know, with prayers, physically, everything. She's all around for me. So she went closely, opened it, and started shouting and crying that I'm awake, I'm alive, you know. So the hospital people, the news was spreading out. Some people were running, some people were coming to see. You know, as I told you guys, all those things were being told to me. And then they took me back into the lifter, and the ICU now, again connected to the oxygen and all those things. And while I went back again on the oxygen, on the 8th of March, I remember it was a Women's Day. You know, before the 8th of March, they have removed me now from the ICU, like from the oxygen, everything. I was able now to breathe on my own, but I wasn't talking, you know. I wasn't talking. So they took me to the site recovery room. I was just there. There's no, you don't take no medication. They were just observing, but I could not talk. Oh, I remember my mom, that fateful 8th of March. The first time I talked about after about 3 months, you know, like my mom was cleaning me up, you know. I really thank you, Mom. Instead of me to clean you up, you did it for me, and I really thank God for your life. I thank God for how you stood by me with your faith, with your prayers, and everyone that stood by me at this period. I myself, I will tell you guys, I was not prayerful. I was living my life. You know, this kind of thing. I'm chopping life. That's what was happening. I was chopping life. I was living. That's what I said. God can do anything to anybody, and God can use anybody. But today He's using me to encourage others. So don't say that your own is too much. Don't even say it. Don't say that, oh, I've committed so much that I cannot even come to God. Now lie. You haven't even started. If God can use me, what about you? If God can change my life, if God can change my situation, what about yours? What about you? There is nothing. The song that we say He's a bulldozer. He will bulldoze all those sins. He will bulldoze all those things that are holding you back. He will bulldoze every of those things. Just name them. And He will bring you back to the original person that He created you for. That was the beginning of my originality, of my destiny showing, you know. And there is something I want to say. The devil never goes for people without great destinies. Please mark my words. Go into your families. Just think of those who are being fought, whose lives are not going the way people are thinking they have to go, whose lives are not, maybe failing exams, maybe not succeeding in their business, maybe not succeeding in their lives as general. They have great destinies, and the devil has seen it, because the devil sees. It was a wise angel, was also in heaven before he was casted out with his followers. You know, they know those people that are great, that they will be great. They know the people that have been assigned to come and help humanity. So they will fight you from the beginning. If you don't have a kind of strong foundation, a kind of family foundation, or friends or people who are praying for you and helping you with prayers, you will just end up in hell. I will not lie. If I died that time, I would have ended up in hell. I was not born again. I had not given my life to Christ. I was just living. So, and that 8th of March, my mom was cleaning me, and I just remember that she was cleaning my legs, like with the face towel. She was on my legs at that time. And then after she cleaned it, I felt some cold sensation on my body. And then I just, because I was lying there, even though I was in that waiting room, I could not turn myself, I could not do anything. You have to turn me to everything. It's just because they had money to continue paying, else they could have transferred me straight to the house. But because they wanted to keep me there and let the hospital be observing, and you are paying every day, you know. So I just turned my head after this trip, like my mom, I saw her bending and looking at me with kind of amazement. And then she cleaned the place. She went again and touched that part of my leg that she touched. And then I looked at her. And then she quickly took the cover, the bed cover, the blanket that she had to cover me. It wasn't really thick blanket, a light kind of bed sheet. And then covered me. Then I said, Mommy, if you say I need the feel, I will never forget these words. Those were the first words that I said to my mom after those months of being on oxygen, of experiencing those nonsense things. I said, Mommy, if you say I need the feel. She removed it and covered it again. She never answered me like something was wrong. But I knew I was just discussing with her. I did not know it was the first time after a long period of not speaking. When I said it again, I said, Mommy, I'm not feeling cold, so remove it. I just had my mouth shouting. She can talk, she can speak. She was so excited, and then she shouted and went out, and then people started coming. The nurses came and greeted me. How are you? What is your name? They were trying to see if I was oriented or if I was still normal or something, you know, to get my orientation. And they asked me everything, but what I did not know was where I was. I never knew the hospital. I never knew anything. So they told me the hospital I was and everything, and the date and when I came to the hospital, and you know, they did not explain everything to me because normally I was looking so tired. And then I remember because it was the International Women's Day, the CEMAC women, that's a group of women led by the wife of the president. They came to the hospital to give a gift to women and sick people. So during that, as my mother was cleaning me up for that, because they have to visit the wards and visit me. I was in a room with someone, and an old woman, also one of the minister's mom, waiting also to give up the ghost. You know, we were up at the ICU but in one observation room. So they came also, they gave gift to us, to me, and they also greeted me, and then they were telling them the story. The nurse was telling them the story that something happened today, that's a miracle, because there was a nurse in that ICU. I forgot to say that part. She was an apostolic lady. She used to pray. So she told me everything. The people caring for me also told me. So when I recovered myself, she came with the people whom she has been praying with. They came and prayed with me, and they asked me about my spiritual life, you know, and all those stuff. And you know, as I was coming out from a strong Catholic background, so when you are sick, or when they feel that you are sick to some extent, they have to bring a priest to anoint you, to give you the anointing of the sick. So it was done to me in Yaoundé, and for them, they know you have taken all your sacraments. The only sacrament I wasn't was remaining for me as a Catholic Christian was the sacrament of marriage. So when you look at our baptism card, you will see the baptism, the first Holy Communion, marriage, and then sacrament of the sick. That means you're then going to die. You know, they make it like you die when you are old, those kind of stuff. But I skipped some parts to get some. Yeah. But that was God's plan, because he wanted that at this day that I'm sitting here, I should give this testimony, and the world should know that God is a great miracle worker. Please know that there are fake miracles. Like somebody did one, I don't know, it was last year, that there was one guy that woke up from a coffin in South Africa. Those things were fake. I watched it and I just laughed. No pastor was there to pray for me and say, you, Therese, wake up from there. Nobody. No, it was just the grace of God. And we were not in any crusade. We did not go to anywhere. Nothing. Was in a government hospital that it happened. It was not in a mission hospital. It was not in a church building. It was not on a crusade ground. But mind you, miracles are taking place, because I still have a lot of these supernatural miracles that I'm going to give again. But this one of resurrection, will end it at this place, you know. It's 1, 2, and 3. So guys, go and watch part 1, part 2, and then you come and watch this part 3 so you can understand it. And I'm going to give another testimony also in parts like that, so we enjoy it. And you know, for not making it too long, I just want to end here for now. And I want to thank you and encourage everybody that, as I've been saying, that is my duty, to encourage, to tell you that I went through it. Jesus was the fourth man in the fire. He cared for me. He brought me out from the fire. Nothing hurt me, nothing happened to me. He would do it for you. He would do it for you, and he would do it for you. In the name of Jesus, amen. Thank you for watching. Please go and subscribe and click on the notification button, so that when I upload any video, please, you will have the notification. And remember, we are still moving on testimony. You know, you don't want to miss out, right? So please, see you in the next video. Ciao.